because with that thing that Nico's saying, we're going to move on to another subject. We're going to do a double deuce here. Are numbers hindering WWE? Because we've got Roman, who's 1,000 and what have you there, and we don't know who's going to end it. Is it going to end at Mania? Does it prolong because he has to outdo Hogan? Then we've got Gunther, who's outdone the Honky Tonk Man. So are WWE trying to double down on that? Then we have Seth Rollins, who
shouldn't have held the belt this long. This is bad.
This is it. He's now on a tearing streak. And the other thing that's hit me, do you know what Seth's doing?
Rhea. Don't forget Rhea.
But Seth is actually eliminating all of NXT. All of your former NXT champs are stepping up and are getting crushed by him. When are we allowing this to build? Rhea is on a tier. Dare I say it? Io's on a tier that people aren't even interested in. You know? It's getting lengthy now, and everyone's feeling like, I love Io, but she's not giving us enough. When's it going to end? I think there's a new faction coming.
Io's not my problem. Yeah, funnily enough, the women holding the belts, Io's going to lose that belt at, I actually think before Mania. Rhea, this is just a belief. It's not based on anything. Rhea, I actually think is going to hold it at Mania. I think she's going to go past Mania. She's worked hard enough that I would be okay with that. Gunther, I reckon, is going to lose upwards. Drop it in a triple threat or something. Gunther, I actually think, has done some very good work with that IC belt, not just because big numbers are big. He's really been a revelation with Chad Gable. I've been saying since Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin, and the Usos were feuding when they were playing hot potato with the tag belts. Then Chad still had his long hair. I was like, Chad's an amazing wrestler, man. If he was a little bit taller and a little bit stockier, you'd have the new Kurt Angle there, because ability-wise, he's not far off. He's an amazing wrestler. And I reckon they're going to put the IC belt on him, and I'll be very happy when they do, and I think he's damn well earned it. But now Riddle and Gunther, I don't think he'll eat the pin. He could. That would be interesting. It would make Gable look like a big deal. But I think Gunther's going to lose upwards, and he'll be the one that takes the belt off of Seth. But this is so formulaic, isn't it? How interesting would it be? Let me lay out a booking for you here. Let me lay this out for you. Gunther loses upwards in a triple threat. Chad Gable has the IC belt. Yay, we're all happy. Chad's won. Put that aside now. Gunther. I love this, actually. Cody Rhodes comes out at number 1 at the Royal Rumble. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks he's going to do coast to coast. And it's Gunther who screws him from doing it, so Cody doesn't win the Rumble. Yeah?
Has a very Rocky IV feel to it, doesn't it? As much as he's not the Russian, but yeah.
Absolutely love that. And then it's Gunther who will go and mess with Roman. Now, I'll tell you what, after the IC run that Gunther's just been on, you could have a potential assemble moment there with him. Because him stepping up to Roman might be one of the few guys, maybe the only guy who would step up to him, and the whole world would go, maybe.
Do you know what?
Maybe legitimately, as opposed to yes, maybe, because WWE booking, therefore Cody Rhodes. I'm a Cody guy, and I'm bored of this because you've telegraphed it for the last year.
It's heel transitioning to heel. That's what scares me with that one. I don't see it happening. That's the only thing that kills it.
Of course,
you can't book Gunther as a face. He'll get cheered, but you can't book him as a face. And the thing is, him having
this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Both, Gunther will beat Seth for the belt, and Cody will beat Roman for the belt. 8th of November. Make a note in your notes now, and you can come back here at Mania when that happens.
Actually, I'm going to text that to myself now because, we're just going to be. It's not going to happen anyway. I won't remember it because you have called stuff and it's not happened.
I've
Eighth,
called
no.
stuff and it's not happened. Yes, many. What's the
Yeah,
point?
like
there?
no, I mean, like it's not been it's not been put there. Right, that's a small note
Gunther
there.
will beat Seth. Cody will beat Roman for their title.
But here's the problem: when we're playing this numbers game, numbers are good, but does it kill the stars? Because look at the potential stars, and here's the thing, and I'm going to give it to Raw more than SmackDown on this. We have had some awesome bookings. The second coming of Shinsuke Nakamura, the second
Which
coming
again revealed the same ending.
the second coming of Finn Balor.
Hmm.
The third coming and the redemption arc of Drew. I don't think Drew's winning it at Survivor Series. I really don't. You know,
I don't know.
And this is the problem. Like, I just feel like everyone's getting these two-shot titles, or get these 2 title shots against Seth, and what does it lead to? Nothing but disappointment, and people then left in open air. As I say, Finn is lucky that he has the Judgment Day. Nakamura, and I say this with the highest level of respect, has gone from feuding with Seth freaking Rollins to Akira Tozawa. Like,
that belt is being booked the wrong way. Rollins, because of his ability, is pretty much bulletproof in WWE. I'd say he's probably in terms
he
of
lost 3
natural
times to
ability.
Cody.
And look at him now, and he's the one with the gold. See what I mean? It's like Rollins is probably the best wrestler that they've got. I'd listen to an argument for maybe Chad Gable, but or maybe Johnny Gargano.
An
but
all-rounder, in terms of all-rounder.
All-rounder, it's very hard to look past Seth. If I wanted to put Seth in the other companies, could I, if I picked top 5 wrestlers in the world, he'd probably be the only guy I picked from WWE, and I'd put him up there, with Okada, Danielson, Omega, Ospreay. Yeah, I could see Rollins fitting into that little quartet. He fits in there nicely. Other people in WWE.
He is the PW Insider's number 1. Let's give it, credit where it's due. He is where he is.
I don't put much credence in that, but that's.
But I'm just saying, it's universally recognized the talent that he is, whether you agree with him or not.
He's an amazing talent.
Both sides of the line agree on that.
Would I like to see Rollins Okada? Yes. Rollins Tanahashi? Yes. Rollins Ospreay? Yes. Rollins Omega? Yes. Rollins Danielson? Yes. These are all dream matches, right? Rollins should have held that belt for 3 months, and it should have been they should have hot potatoed the living hell out of that belt, not make it another lengthy title reign. So to answer your question, are they ruining it for themselves? Yes, because what they gave themselves, not that this belt should have ever come into existence, but what they gave them, we all don't criticize them enough for that crap. But what they
short memories.
What they missed the ship on with this is that while you've got, one belt being literally laid to siege, you could have created some short form, much like, Benoit's title reign. I know he shouldn't mention his name, but Benoit winning that belt was a feel-good moment, right? 3-month title reign, if I believe it was like what, WrestleMania to SummerSlam?
No, it was SummerSlam through to something very short, free pay-per-view. I don't think he had it at Survivor Series. So
he didn't have it for long, did he? He lost it to Randy, and he didn't have it for long at all. But he won it at
Yes,
Mania.
you're right. Yeah, sorry. WrestleMania to SummerSlam. He lost it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Sorry, what am I thinking?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Randy. Yeah.
So he lost it to Randy at SummerSlam, but you created, this is again just a personal opinion, but you created in that moment that iconic cap shot of him and Eddie both wearing gold. Didn't need to have a long title reign, and the lack of length in the title reign didn't discredit that moment anymore. You could have used that belt to create something you haven't created for a very long time, which is real fan-pleasing moments. That doesn't mean they haven't done good stories. They have. The Bloodline was good before it went to shit after Mania 39. But they haven't given us some real, like, oh, I needed that so badly. The world needed Finn Balor to hold gold again. The world needed Nakamura to hold gold, finally.
Yeah.
And it's just not happening. Does the world need a heel Drew to hold gold? Much less so than Balor and Nakamura.
Do you know
they're doing the wrong thing with this belt?
Do you know what I would have done? The one thing I would have had Seth do is beat Cody, because it gives a different angle to the story. One, it tells people in their mindset, no, WWE are really burying him. He shouldn't have come there. And it also redeems Seth from the free loss. But do you understand, when Cody has
He's
lost
bulletproof.
on both angles, when he's lost both titles and it looks like he's down, and then he's now on a come up and he's like, I'm here to claim. And then he's going after it, because it's like, why has he been so close to that title and not touched it? That's the only defense I would have had. I would have then had Finn win the belt in another Art of Redemption, and Nakamura versus Finn Balor.
Amazing.
The history is just all over the place.
It writes itself. It writes itself.
Or even do it the other way.
And remember, I said recently, F the casual fans, because of this, mentality of, oh, the poor little plebiscital pond scummy casual fans that possibly couldn't think for themselves. Oh, we have to stroke them and make sure they're okay, like Blofeld stroking his cat, because they're awfully fragile, these little fans, aren't they? No, they're not. This is what annoys me, is that they're sending us these mixed messages of, they're giving us teasers for bloody
Punk
13-year-old CM Punk Ring of Honor promos of all things, but then don't trust us to know the Bullet Club history with Nakamura, Balor, and all of that from New Japan. It's like, sorry, New Japan's bigger than Ring of Honor. Like,
yeah.
I won't hear otherwise on that. Even now, I won't hear otherwise. And it's like, you've got stories that write themselves. Just
so
give them.
And do you know how you build the star
that's
building
why
power?
I'm sorry to say, and I hate to make it a tribalistic thing, but this is why I like AEW, because you see these dream matches. They missed the ship with Punk because we didn't get the dream matches that we wanted involving him.
But I mean, that's an ego thing as opposed to a company thing,
They held out. They held out for too long. That's Tony Khan's biggest curse, but also his biggest blessing. When things fall into place after a lengthy, like Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, long 1.5 drawn out program, but it worked. I think
Adam and Christian came too quick, personally.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that now. Like,
AEW is in a very awkward place where I find this is just seen as a very casual, and it's the socials playing me more than anything. I see that they're becoming more sports entertainment than they were before. They're becoming more. They're leaning into a different territory from what
little
they
bit,
were.
yeah. Little bit, yeah. And I'm not crazy about it.
It works. You understand what the company's about. But going into the reigns, I think again, Seth's one is the biggest hindrance, because where Gunther has passed that, and now it feels like who's going to beat him. It's not even because now everyone's just waiting for Gunther to be beaten. Seth, it just feels like, guys,
Chad Gable calling it.
There's a part of me that still wants Sheamus before Sheamus hangs up the boots, man. But it's two different shows.
Actually, but again, that's a moment that we like. I'd like that.
Yeah. But Seth should have dropped, and then the way that you can build stories, and you've now got multiple stars, and any of them can transition over to the other to the other show, to SmackDown. Think of it, as we said, Seth beats Cody, this, that, and the other. Nakamura or Finn does what they do. Then Cody wins. But Nakamura wins the title, then Cody wins. Then Finn Balor steps back up, and now you've got Bullet Club versus Bullet Club, and everyone's like, oh, this is interesting. There were so many elements, and now each man's got it. When you get an elimination chamber in February, it's not just a case of there's a guaranteed winner, because every man has been a certified champ from the day that title came out to the day it's there. Now we're all playing this longevity game, and it's not that I'm against Seth, not that you're against Seth. We're categorically saying that the guy's number one in terms of all-around athlete. But mix it up, because that's what that belt was there for. We've got a fighting IC champ. We've got the non-present Ultimate champ. So yes, Seth is more of a fighting champ. He just done Crown Jewel, then he took on Sami Zayn at Raw. I get it. But he's just destroying every man who's stepping up. Where are we building the future stars? And this is the biggest problem. When Brock left, they didn't know what they were doing, and we were very lucky to have a gentleman by the name of John Cena step up and become that star. But then who was there to challenge him short of Randy Orton? It was Batista kind of came there, but let's be honest, in the pantheon of wrestling,
CM Punk.
Well, that was awesome. The Summer of Punk was amazing. They cut that too short when they let The Rock win. But where are we now? Because in that same vein of loving these stars, and I do have nothing but respect for these stars when I say it, a main event Johnny Gargano had to go back into tag team realms because he wasn't doing it that well in singles. So let's start building these stars. And that's nothing against Gargano, that's nothing against Ciampa. But build these stars so you can look at a title picture. And when a guy steps out through the curtain to challenge Roman or Seth, you're like, wow, okay, now we've got something. Because right now it's literally hoping Cody just gets transferred to SmackDown or wins the Rumble to go to SmackDown and take that belt. That's not booking.
But, and you've got two other, and bringing it back to the top, and I guess we can finish on this, and I agree with you, it's not booking, but this idea they've got that they have to keep Roman off TV because there's no one left for him to fight. I've laid out people who he can fight: Sheamus, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, who I don't know what the hell he's doing. Sheamus, AJ Styles, and Bobby Lashley. Any of those three guys could easily do 2 or 3 PLEs and have got the mic skills to go back and forth with Roman.
Yeah.
And then you can start bringing in the injured people. If Randy Orton's coming back, boy, I'd like to see Randy versus Roman. If Big E's coming back, boy, I'd like to see Big E versus Roman. And have the New Day back him up so that he doesn't get messed with by the backup boys.
The backup boys, the backup line. Yeah, but I have a feeling if Big E can make it back in the ring, I guarantee you, he's going to meet a curb stomp. I guarantee you. Because Seth is destroying every former NXT champ. It's just the way they're doing it. I don't know why. But yeah, that's the one. So let's just wrap it here, guys. The last little
Sami Zayn beating Seth. That would be a feel-good moment.
Well, he lost. It was just happened on Raw. It just happened yesterday.
What was the whole point of my discussion here is that we are not getting moments that would make us happy.
Yeah. Yeah. And KO getting transferred to SmackDown doesn't mean we want to see Roman KO 4. They're awesome matches, but we don't want it.
That made no sense. That made absolutely no sense. That this is okay. KO and Sami are done. Bye.
In a way, I'm happy because it doesn't mean KO versus Sami 12,000. We've seen it. Separate them. They're still friends, but they're doing their own thing. Because I knew it. Once the tag run was done, it was going to run dry. So separate it. I get it. But guys, that's the thing. So 2 questions. Bloodline. Keep it going. How would you book the Bloodline to keep it relevant? Would you kick out anyone? Would you do it? I still believe in the long run, Solo's going to kick out Roman. And the 2 guys who've just left MLW, that's the new thing. Solo at the front, managed by Heyman, just pure savages. It's a different kind of bloodline now. Let that be. But again, how would you book the Bloodline? And what do you think about the numbers game in WWE? Do we need long title reigns, or is it time to start bouncing it? Because the only title that's changing hands is the US title. That's the only one that's changing. Even the tag title changes for like 2 days and goes back to the Judgment Day. How would you book these titles?
Chelsea Green and Piper Niven had a longer title reign than Rey Mysterio. Who knew?
There's a part of me who wonders, is Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair the next women's tag team champions?
Well, because they're 2 big buff sisters, yeah?
Yeah, that's another discussion for another time, all under the Bobby Lashley tree. But anyway,
Jade
another discussion.
Jade needs to dethrone Rhea at Mania. That's my call.
That's a good shout. But I don't want her to win the Rumble. She needs to do it another way. Win the Chamber.
Nope.
Do a Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler. There you go, brother. Shayna Baszler her. Have her enter the Rumble, tear up shop, but lose.
Yeah. By nefarious means. Let it be let Rhea be the one to kick her out. So she's got the target. She knows who she's after.
No. I know exactly why I'd have her kick out for banter and then get a whooping of whoopings. FABO.
Well, she's carrying at the moment. I don't think she'll be there.
I know she is. I'm bantering, isn't it?
Oh,
Carmella, can you imagine? And then Jade
what would get again another one who's carrying at the moment. But if we could get an iconic elimination, would just be gold. Yeah. Anyway, fantasy booking. How
to be fair, you can't have Jade get eliminated from comedy wrestling. It can't happen. She has to be presented as the biggest deal ever.
I think Charlotte's the only one who's really viable to eliminate her. But again, different discussion. Again, How do you book the women's title? Who do you book to go into Mania with titles? Are you excited for the potential female Japanese faction that looks like it's looming? But anyway, there's a few questions there, guys.
Io and
they reckon
Io and
they reckon
Kyrie and
Asuka's
Asuka.
joining that. Yeah, and there's one other they say who's going to join. I just can't remember the name.
I'd be there for that.
Oh, it would dominate. But anyway, guys. Yes.
Dominate what? There's no women's division.
This is the problem, right? This is the problem. The women's division needs building. I was happy there was 2 women's matches at Saudi Arabia, but again, we need tag teams. Guys, look, next week's discussion, the state of women's wrestling, who has the best women's division, Impact. But anyway, until next week, I am the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
Double V, the Viceroy, very similar to Nico. Join us next week where we're going to talk about women's wrestling.
So until the next time, guys, we out.